Hello, everyone. Welcome to Monday's edition of Take 5, where we take about 5 minutes and have a conversation regarding some scriptures and what they might have to say about our lives and our day. And we're starting a new theme today, and I'm calling it Spiritual Formation, and I'll get to that in a bit. We'll do that for the next several weeks. It's going to actually coincide with what I'm doing at Trinity on Sunday mornings. Let me start by saying this. Oftentimes when I meet with a couple who either are married or want to get married, one of the things I ask them is, what is your end game? What do you hope to get out of this all the way through the end? And it's especially when they're not married, the answers are rather revealing, because one of them, let's say they're engaged, one of them will say, my end game is I want to have a home and a family with 4 kids and a Cocker Spaniel. And the other one will just look at them and say, what? I want to go to graduate school and I want to make sure we're here, and I'm not even thinking family yet, and I don't. The end game, the result of what we're doing, of our endeavors, are really important to think through. Whether it's in our marriages or in our personal life, or what are you trying to accomplish? What is the end of this all? And it's a legitimate question even to ask for a follower of Jesus Christ. What is the end of all of this? And we even can at times can think, well, the goal, the end of Christianity, of being a Christian, is going to heaven. Really? And I understand that, and it's a wonderful promise, but is that all? And so being a Christian is just sort of getting my ticket to get punched when I die so I can go to heaven? What about in the meantime? Isn't there something else? What's the end game? What's the results? Is it just to get to heaven? And maybe people that are less heavenly minded will say, well, no, it's for the forgiveness of my sins, that my sins can be forgiven. Okay, that's certainly one of the beautiful benefits of coming to know Christ. He died for my sins. Is that the end game? Well, no, it's more behavioral, some might say. It's the goal of becoming a Christian is that I love my neighbor, that I'm a loving person as Christ was a loving person, and that I love my neighbor. And those are all good answers. But I want us to think about it just a little bit more, and we're going to deal with it in the next weeks as we talk about spiritual formation, that there is something clearer, there is something more specific for all of us when it comes to the goal of our Christian life. The Apostle Paul would write in Romans chapter 8, and it's a verse that everyone knows pretty well, many Christians know pretty well, especially when life gets hard, because we like to quote it appropriately. And here's what it says. Romans 8 and verse 28 says, we know that all things work together for good, for those who love God and are called according to his purpose. Okay, so just for a second, you stop there, and that's the good news. Everything works together for good. So no matter how hard life has gotten, no matter how difficult my life is, my children are, no matter how bad the medical report is, all of that, all things work together for the good, for those who are called, love God, and are called according to his purpose. If you are called by God, if you're a Christian, then things are going to work together for good. But what's the good? And he says it. For those whom God foreknew, he also predestined. He determined beforehand. He predestined. What did he determine beforehand? That you be conformed to the image of his Son. And there, my friends, and we'll look at this many different ways, there, my friend, is the goal, the end game of the Christian life, that we are conformed to the image of Christ. That's our goal. And so everything that happens to us in life, and that includes our own plans and our own desires and our own goals and our own activities, everything that happens to us passively as life happens, as God allows life happens, all things work together for the good. What is the good? That God is conforming you to the image of his Son, Christ. Now on this Monday, think about that. What is the image of Christ, and are people seeing it in your life? Spiritual formation is all about developing that. Tomorrow when we start, I'll start with a definition of spiritual formation, and we'll go from there. These are going to be really important Take Fives, and I'm looking forward to having this conversation with you. Have a great Monday. I'll see you on Tuesday. Ciao.